In this video tutorial, we're going to quickly set up a second blog post. And we go this far simply because we want you to just kind of understand that your expertise using the WordPress platform is mainly a product of rhythm, and obviously repetition oftentimes is the key to mastery. So with that, we're going to go ahead. As you remember, we're going to add a new post. And this time we are going to insert the title in so quickly that it will populate as we told you before, and you don't have to necessarily go down and change anything. So once you populate your title, what you will see is, as we said before, your article title will automatically be populated into your page tag. Now again, you want to edit it if you don't do it fast enough and it just assigns some number here. So the next thing that we want to do, if you remember, is we want to copy our next article out of our Word document. So with that, we're going to go ahead and copy, and then we'll just paste it into Now, a lot of times what you will see here is a large space. You always want to kind of backspace this down so there's not a lot of space between the last word of your article and your share buttons for social media, so you can kind of gain some steam on your blog post. So as we go down, and even now we've done this so quickly, we can go ahead and format this, and let us point something out with the text editor above. You don't necessarily have to settle for this if you have bullet point items. When you create, the best thing to do for WordPress is when you create articles and they have bullet point items, you want to, for pasting purposes and clean formatting purposes, you want to put your hyphen here. And once you get on the platform, then you could go ahead and go up to your editor and click the button. And then this is just a matter of backspacing until the following bullet point item is here, and all you have to do kind of here is hit enter. But whatever it is, and it could even be numbers if you want it to, because that feature is also available here in the editor. So we want to just do this just a couple of times so you can just kind of get used to using your editor. So whether it's bullet point items or whether it is numbers or what have you, you can really make, even with a copying and pasting, you can make that really happen. This is the last one we'll do on video anyway, simply because we can just go on offline and kind of format this, because we understand that you get this now. However, what you will find is there are certain tweaks that you are going to have to make once you populate your article or your About Us page or whatever that is. So with that said, we want to make sure our spacing is as clean as possible. And for this particular article, we actually have to insert some video, but we will just keep it simple here. And we do teach that in our advanced WordPress, just to make a dynamic website. So now that you feel pretty comfortable with how it's formatted, if you remember, we want to go down, and just for these purposes, we want to leave the format the same. Now, next, we want to add a new category. So this particular article is about video marketing. We don't necessarily need to assign a parent category yet. However, we talked you through if this SEO keywords your parent category could just be keywords. If that's something you want to do, what you want to do is, as we said, we'll just call this video, and we'll add the category. Now that this category is added, and we teach why this is necessary in our SEO course, but we just want to give you just tips here. So once that is, you want to uncheck your parent category, and then your subcategory, which this is video online marketing, which, as you remember, you want that to be the same title as your article, whatever your article is about. And once you uncheck this, once you hit add category for your parent, that will, and then uncheck it, that will appear on this drop down menu. Now you have your subcategory and you have your parent category. So once you hit add new category here, those two, to understand if the platform accepted or not, those two will appear above each other or under, or however that goes. With tags, this will again just be video marketing or your parent category, however you want to do that. So the next thing that we want to do, if you remember, is we want to set our featured image. Now, we want to upload another image and always search as we told you to, because we believe the perfect size for images anyway is 401 by 267, but you make the decision if it's a thumbnail or whatever. So we're going to use this image this time, and it will populate your latest image will always be over here on the left. What will happen then is it'll populate here, and you can go ahead and put in alt text or descriptions or however you want to do that. But what we're going to do for these purposes is we're just going to go ahead and set that featured image as our post. So we have everything that we need taken care of. So we don't want to discount what goes on here. If there's an article, or we can't imagine what the situation would be, but there's certainly situations. Maybe this is a protected page, a password protected page. We teach that in our advanced WordPress series. However, you are able to disable your bookmark share buttons or your open graph tags. So just understand that we're not going to do that for these purposes. Now that we have everything taken care of, we want to publish. But before we do that, if you want to write an article today, but you don't want it released till tomorrow, remember you can leave it, you can save it as a draft, you can drop this down, you can save it as a draft here, you save it as a draft here, or you could save as pending review, however you want to do that. However, we just want to go ahead and publish. So we're going to click publish. And once we click that publish, if you remember, we want to go ahead and we want to view our post to make sure it looks okay. So as we go down, we now know that our blog post looks okay. And once people go down, once they go down, and as you create more content, they'll be able to move backwards to, and this is just pointing backwards to a previous article that you did, and that is a great way. Certainly it's a default setting, but that's a great way to keep people on your website. So with that said, now you know how to set up blog posts effectively. What we're going to come back and do is we're going to examine categories, and we're going to just review tags before we move on to creating your other pages. Stay with us.